Good morning, children. Welcome back. Today we are starting the chapter, continuing the chapter respiration from class 7. We will be discussing two important concepts today. As you know, you might have studied in lower classes breathing and cellular respiration in detail. Everybody knows what is breathing. Breathing is the process of taking in the oxygen-rich air into our lungs. This process is called inhalation, and the process of breathing out, giving out the carbon dioxide-rich air is called exhalation. So these two, inhalation and exhalation, together form breathing or external respiration. Breathing or external respiration. In this chapter, we are now studying breathing in detail. So, as the breathing process includes two steps. What are the two steps? Inhalation and exhalation. During inhalation, what happens? You can see from this diagram. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves downwards. Diaphragm moves downwards, and the ribs, the ribs which will cover or protect our lungs, or chest cavity, or thoracic cavity. Okay, the ribs now move upwards. Ribs move upwards. So diaphragm moves downwards and rib move upwards. Due to the rib muscles, it moves upwards. As a result, the space inside the lungs or chest increases. When space increases, you can see volume of the lungs increases. Space increases means volume increases. When volume increases, the pressure inside the chest decreases. Pressure inside the chest decreases. But the pressure from outside with high pressure rushes into the lungs. This process is called inhalation. So what is inhalation? During inhalation, you can understand that the diaphragm moves downwards and the ribs move upwards. As a result, the space inside the chest increases. Space increases means the volume of the chest increases. When volume increases, pressure decreases inside the chest. High pressure of air from outside now rushes into the lungs. This is what is called inhalation. Now, exhalation, we can understand the process will get reversed. We can see the diaphragm. The diaphragm comes to its normal position, previous position. Diaphragm comes to the previous position. Okay, and the ribs now come down to the previous position. Diaphragm and the ribs come back to the original position. As a result, the pressure inside the chest increases. Pressure of air inside the chest increases. Volume decreases, pressure increases, and the air rushes out. This is called exhalation. So how exhalation happens? During exhalation, diaphragm and the ribs move to the normal position. The volume, the space inside the chest cavity decreases. When the space decreases, volume also decreases. Volume decreases, air pressure increases. You got it? As a result, the air rushes out. This is called exhalation. So inhalation and exhalation are due to the movement of the diaphragm and the movement of the ribs muscles. The ribs muscles. You got it? Right. We are now coming to the next part of the chapter, cellular respiration. Everybody knows cellular respiration is the process of breakdown of glucose. Breakdown of glucose into carbon dioxide, water and energy. So what cellular respiration consists of? Cellular respiration consists of oxidation or breakdown. Oxidation or breakdown of glucose. Breakdown of glucose. What is the molecular formula of glucose? C6H12O6. Okay, it needs 6 oxygen molecules as I have written earlier. Now it will break down into 6 together we call cellular respiration or breakdown or oxidation of glucose. Now, glucose formula you have studied C6H12O6. So, how many molecules of oxygen is required? 6 molecules of oxygen is required. Now, the oxygen, first of all, the oxygen has to be transported to the cells. Who transport oxygen? Yes, it is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin in the blood. Hemoglobin in the blood combines with oxygen. Hemoglobin in the RBC, particularly in the RBC, combines with the oxygen to form oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. So actually, what is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is a red colored pigment, protein pigment present inside the RBC. You got it? So hemoglobin combines with the oxygen and form oxyhemoglobin. Now this oxyhemoglobin goes to the cells. Inside the cells, the oxyhemoglobin in the blood itself, the oxyhemoglobin breaks into hemoglobin and oxygen. Oxygen now diffuses into the cells. From the cells, we can understand the carbon dioxide come back to the blood, okay, and mix with the hemoglobin, okay. So, and the oxyhemoglobin is given into the cell. So, we can understand that. So, hemoglobin combines with the oxygen and form oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin carry the oxygen to the cells. So, after reaching the oxygen to the cells, meanwhile, the glucose, that is called a respiratory substrate, also reaches the cells. Now, in the presence of oxygen, the food glucose is oxidized and release carbon dioxide, water, and energy. This is what is cellular respiration. You might have seen combustion and cellular respiration. You might have seen combustion and cellular respiration. What is the difference between combustion and cellular respiration? Combustion takes place in machines or anywhere outside the living room. Cellular respiration. Yes, I am going to write the difference between combustion. First, combustion. Now, this is cellular respiration. Okay, right. What is the difference between this? Combustion is a fast process. Okay, it is slow process. Cellular respiration is slow process. That is the first difference. Yes. Now, combustion can take place anywhere. Combustion can take place anywhere. What does it mean? Anywhere. Outside of the living body, combustion can take place anywhere. Okay? Now, the cellular respiration takes place inside the cells of the living body. Right? You got these points? So, two important points. Now, in combustion, the energy released at a single step. Energy released in single step. So, in cellular respiration, energy released in more steps. Right. Now, fourth one. Usually, combustion, releases more energy anywhere in the body, and also it is a fast process. Now, combustion is used to make the engine work. Combustion is used to run the engine, whereas the cellular respiration is used to in the cellular process as well as the various activities in the living body. Okay. In combustion, energy is not stored. In cellular respiration, energy is stored in ATP. What is ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. So this ATP is called the energy currency of the cell. Why ATP is called the energy currency of the cell? Because the energy stored in ATP can release and make use of any biological process or functions at any time. Okay. Now it can occur in the next step, combustion. The combustion occurs in high temperature. Combustion occurs in high temperature, whereas respiration occurs in body temperature. These are the main differences between combustion and cellular respiration. Can you tell me what are the differences between these two? In combustion is a fast process, whereas cellular respiration is slow process. Combustion takes place anywhere outside the living body, particularly in engine. We need fuel for that. Okay, fuel. Any type of fuel, petrol, diesel, any fuel is required for this combustion. Whereas in cellular respiration, the fuel, the substrate we call glucose. Glucose is the substrate, and oxygen is required here. Here also oxygen is required. Energy released in the combustion is single step at a time. Okay, whereas in cellular respiration, energy releases in many steps. It does not store the energy, but here it is storing energy. Okay. What is the form of ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Right. Combustion takes place in high temperature, whereas cellular respiration takes place in body temperature. These are the major differences between combustion and cellular respiration. Thank you. This is the introduction of this chapter, this part. Thank you.